going, you know. She was everywhere you go, because that's what Diane told my wife. You be everywhere she go. He called out to California, to Hollywood, and told her, I can't do nothing with her. Me and Leah leave time together. They pulled my wife back, and for 30 days, my wife sat in the hotel making her money, and Leah, that was the time I think the things probably got cozy.
What's up, you guys? So I am LAILAHLYNNTV. I want to start by saying thank you to Gully TV. Gully TV did this interview with the husband of Aaliyah's chaperone. When Aaliyah was involved with R. Kelly, she had a chaperone. So we're going to get into all the questions you might have had as far as how did Aaliyah get involved with R. Kelly so deeply? Like, you know, we all know the story of them getting married. But this is the backstory, and I feel like not enough people know the backstory. So I'm just sharing it on my channel, and I want to thank Gully TV for getting the backstory. In this video, you're going to see the husband of Aaliyah's chaperone explain exactly what happened between Aaliyah and R. Kelly. If you're not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and subscribe. Support a sister. Support a sister trying to do her thing in the media. I am only going to react to like the last third of the video. I want you guys to watch the full video. So I have a link below to his channel, to the video. Check out the full video. I am actually only reacting to the last third of the video where he starts to talk about Aaliyah and the Haughton family.
Let's speed up to you meeting the Hankersons.
Okay.
And Aaliyah becoming an artist. So tell me first, your first encounter with Barry Hankerson. You mean Barry Hankerson?
I knew Barry Hankerson way back in the early 70s.
Okay, so let me just stop real quick. In case you didn't know, you should know if you're watching this video, but Barry Hankerson is Aaliyah's uncle, and he's the founder of Black Ground Records. He's the one who gave her her first record deal.
Barry Hankerson was married to a school teacher. Her name was, I can't forget her first name, but she passed away. He had a son by her name, Jamo Hankerson. Jamo was on the road. He's Leah's first cousin. And he came here and he married her. She was a school teacher. She was the principal of Central High School. He married her. And our great mayor, Coleman Young, he made Barry Hankerson the first and only assistant deputy mayor under Coleman Young in all of his 20 years in office. He thought a lot of Barry Hankerson, and I did too. We all thought a lot of Barry Hankerson back then. He was a very good talker. He was a person that could bring people together. He brought a lot of people together. I didn't find out the depth of his destruction until later on in life.
Okay. Aaliyah's last name is Haughton.
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 H-A-U-G-H-T-O-N.
Give me your earliest recollection of meeting the Haughton family.
A lot of people were dying on the streets of Detroit. In 88, I think it was 88, a lot of people were dying on the streets of Detroit in the winter of 88. And Coleman Young was getting a lot of negative publicity. What he did, he called Operation Get Down. That was the organization that Barry Hankerson and Bernard Parker found together. Operation Get Down. It's a non-profit organization that helps. It's a beautiful organization that helps with tutoring, after school program, child literacy, adult pregnancy. Diane Haughton, who is Barry's Hankerson's sister, she was running the program, giving out the baskets on a daily basis for the kids.
So basically, Aaliyah's family was running a charity. Her parents were running a charity in the city of Detroit.
And the families. My very first recollection with Barry Hankerson was a beautiful man. Even when he married Gladys Knight, just a beautiful man, very talkative person. Had a gift of gab, Brooklyn style.
Right. All right. So Aaliyah came here, I mean, not this actual facility, but another location for fitness training.
For fitness training.
What did she come for? What practice were you offering? What service were you offering back then?
We were offering stick boxing training. We were offering Muay Thai. But basically, she stuck with the stick boxing, and her form was good. Her form was very good.
So those defined abs that she later showed throughout her career was early activity, early fitness activity.
I would definitely like to think that we have played a part in doing something with that. I don't know if it was her being little or not. Was a person little just have natural abs like that?
Right.
We definitely worked her out, as my cousin was telling me.
Right. When did y'all discover, or when did the singing part come, or when did she stop coming to training and start becoming an actual performer?
Well, actually, what happened was that a lot of people don't know this. R. Kelly was initially discovered by a guy named Demetrius Smith. He wrote the book called The Man Behind the Man. And I back up everything in Demetrius Smith's book. It comes from R. Kelly's camp. Demetrius Smith's sister was married to Craig Hodges. Craig Hodges played basketball for the Milwaukee Bucks. R. Kelly could have been started, but just to get.
So in case you guys didn't know, if you haven't followed the R. Kelly story, Demetrius Smith is kind of like his right-hand man. I've spoken to him via email regarding his book. And it's a big book. You would think it's probably not, but it's actually a really thick book. And it's deep. I have the book, and it's a lot. It's a lot.
Get to the simple part of it. Craig Hodges came home and caught R. Kelly in the bed with his wife. Wow. That's a bomb buster.
Okay. The musical part. R. Kelly arriving in Detroit.
When R. Kelly arrived in Detroit, I brought him here for basketball. And we would shoot ball at the gym. And they loved McDonald's. He would shoot ball at the gym. And the boy I would take him to one of our gyms, and he played like Michael Jordan. The boy got game.
He could really ball?
He could ball.
Okay.
That's when I can't see him being so weak in jail. Yeah.
Oh, because of the aggression showed on the basketball court?
Yeah. You know how his brothers is. Mostly every fight I ever got into was on the basketball court.
Yeah, a lot of them start there.
Yeah. And I just can't see how he was so weak. I just, wish that we would have exposed R. Kelly.
It was a 2-year period, let's say, before the actual album AJ Number came out. AJ Nothing But a Number came out. How much time did R. Kelly spend here in Detroit?
He was here off and on, sometimes every week. He was here. Stayed at the Haughton's house for a period of time when they stayed over in Sherwood Forest.
Okay. So when did you actively, because she wasn't famous during the recording process, she was just Aaliyah.
Right.
Okay. When did the records and the actual them spending time together, or her traveling to Chicago, what year did that occur?
She traveled to Chicago and making a back and forth album. We're looking at my wife was the chaperone on the back and forth album.
So that's the first answer for people who are wondering, if Aaliyah was just kind of like let loose with R. Kelly. Like a lot of people wonder exactly what happened. She had a chaperone. Aaliyah had a chaperone. His wife was the chaperone.
So she was out there with her for almost 6 months. And what happened was that my wife, being from the Nation of Islam, she seen R. Kelly do something bad, disrespectful to Aaliyah. And what she did, she reported it to me. I reported it to Mike. And this was when the problem started with me and Mike. I'm a man of high moral caliber. I love Michael Haughton. I love Diane. I love Aaliyah. I love Rashad. I don't care for Barry. I mean, I've got a thing to settle if I ever see him. But
when you said he did something disrespectful to her,
my wife was looking through the key horn. He seen her pat her on the butt as she was going in. She was.
Let me stop it right there. I'm glad he called it something bad. He said, if you heard what he said, if you didn't hear what he said his wife saw R. Kelly pat Aaliyah on the butt. She's like 13, 14. They're recording the AJ Nothing But a Number album. So when he said his wife saw something, his wife saw R. Kelly do something bad to Aaliyah. I'm glad he called it something bad because so many people act like it's okay. It's not okay. She's 14. It was something bad. And his wife witnessed it. And so his wife told him.
14 at the time.
And that was the Was that the first encounter or first time people noticing anything inappropriate between the two?
That was the first time.
How was he when this happened?
He had to be about what? Was he 26, 27?
He's 27 and she's
I
14.
think he was 27, yeah, about 26.
And your wife seen it?
Yeah, my wife seen it. My wife seen it.
Were you was security at this time?
I hadn't became security. Me and Mike was still running the homeless shelter then.
Okay.
My wife was out making the album with her, and what had happened after all this explosion, big explosion happened. Aaliyah, one day she had ran away from home. We didn't know where she was at. That's when I brought in all my security team. We went to Mike's house on Woodingham. We sat there on Woodingham with me.
So before the album even came out, when she's recording an album, basically he said that's when the explosion happened. The issue between Aaliyah and R. Kelly, what he's saying is that it happened before we saw it as customers, as fans of Aaliyah. Before we saw it happened behind the scenes. And he was saying it was a big explosion when, basically, his wife saw R. Kelly having an inappropriate relationship with Aaliyah. It caused a big explosion.
My cousin, Kalende, Sekou, and all the martial artists of Detroit. Barry Hankerson was upstairs. They was telling us to do what we have to do to keep her protected. What we were trying to do was see what was the cause. Come to find out, Leah had a secret phone in the house. Robert was calling her, telling her what to do. She left in the middle of the night, ended up in Miami. We knew nothing about it.
So, R. Kelly, if y'all caught that, R. Kelly gave Aaliyah a secret phone. This is back in the 90s. And this is reminiscent to what a lot of the ladies say who have been involved with R. Kelly. R. Kelly gave Aaliyah a secret phone at 14. And she took a trip. Like, she ran away from home at 14 before her album even came out, you guys. This is what this man is alleging happened. Before her album even came out, when she was recording with R. Kelly, she ran away to Miami from her parents to be with R. Kelly.
This is before she was famous?
Before she ever became famous. We could expose that man, and none of them girls, that's when I feel bad. One of the reasons I feel bad personally, I take off my glasses and tell you this, I feel bad personally because I'm not a person that kiss and tell. I don't speak on the dead in a bad way. But I do know that if we would have started out when she first was making that album, before she ever got famous, if we would have exposed that man then, sadly, I don't believe none of those other girls would have had to suffer.
He's saying that if they had exposed R. Kelly for his inappropriate relationship with a child, 14 years old as a child, they exposed him then. He was 26 or 27, Aaliyah was 14. If they had exposed him then, he feels like a lot of what happened in the future would not have happened. I don't know if I necessarily agree, and I'm gonna get into why later. And it has to do with parents.
Did not say nothing because I was Michael Haughton's friend, his best friend at the time. And when he came to me and told me, don't tell Diane no matter what, because if I tell Diane, she'll call everything off. I didn't know what to think. But I never felt good with myself after that. And that's one of the reasons I'm giving this interview.
And this was the Miami incident?
Yeah.
What year was this Miami incident?
This was in 95. We're talking about, 92? Something like about 92, 93.
So
close.
So before the album even came, it was known that there was an inappropriate relationship between the two.
Definitely. Her father knew.
And it was put on the back burner for financial reasons.
Her father put it on the back burner. And what my wife and me feel bad about, we honestly think.
Jeez. Rest in peace to Aaliyah and her father. But y'all heard what the man said. Okay? Y'all heard what he said.
That if we would have told Diane, she would have stopped it. She would have stopped it. She would have stopped it.
So after this situation with the...
And Diane is her mother, by the way. He's saying he feels like he told her father and her father didn't stop it. But if he had told her mother would have stopped it. But that's what he's saying.
Miami trip where she like basically ran away with him. How was this rectified? How was this corrected? How were they able to just go on?
First of all, Aaliyah didn't want to go on. She claimed that she was in love with excuse me. Go ahead. She was in love with Robert. Now you got to remember, at the time she was 14, and she was begging her father not to have anything done to Robert. Don't press charges on him. Don't do none of these things to Robert. Barry Hankerson was saying the same thing. But recall, at the time, Robert was up for a contract with
Let me just say this real quick. Because this man, he is saying so much so quickly, and I don't want y'all to miss it. He said, of course, Aaliyah was in love. She was 14 years old. She was in love. I was probably in love at 14 too. But she was in love with R. Kelly before her album even came out. These issues had already happened. She had already ran away from her family to be with R. Kelly. So he said it very quickly, but if you heard what he said that Aaliyah didn't want anything done to R. Kelly. And if you listen closely, he also said Barry Hankerson felt the same way.
She was begging her father not to have anything done to Robert. Don't press charges on him. Don't do none of these things to Robert. Barry Hankerson was saying the same thing.
That's what he said. Now, these are all allegations, but I'm just bringing to you what the husband of Aaliyah's chaperone said.
Okay? At the contract, I think Barry Hankerson was getting something like 4 to 10%, something ridiculous, and it was a renewal of the contract. So they telling us to go ahead on and, we're going to keep it going and whatnot. But it seems his flesh and blood niece, knowing that this man had improperly sexual relationship with his niece and didn't expose him, he sold out for the money.
So how long did their relationship go on before people started to say it was too much? Like it was just too much to conceal?
I give Diane credit. If she would have knew from Jump Street, it would have never happened.
Were you around during the marriage?
During the marriage, I was around, but at that time, Diane had pulled my wife. R. Kelly had called out to Hollywood. Barry was staying in California at the time. And he called out to Hollywood and he said, "Who is this woman? She won't give me no time with her. She won't give me no time with her." My wife.
Talking about his wife, the chaperone. R. Kelly is mad about the chaperone.
She was everywhere you go. Because that's what Diane told my wife. You be everywhere she go. He called out to California, to Hollywood, and told her, "I can't do nothing with her. Me and Leah leave time together." They pulled my wife back. And for 30 days, my wife sat in the hotel making her money, and Leah, that was the time I think the things probably got cozy. Right?
Y'all heard what he said? R. Kelly asked for 30 days alone with Aaliyah. And he said he believes that's when things got cozy. He used the word cozy. During that 30 days alone, when his wife was in the hotel, and he's going to say, his wife is still trying to check up on Aaliyah, but R. Kelly had called Aaliyah's dad and said that the chaperone was killing his creativity. And so they sent the chaperone back to the hotel for 30 days. 30 days, and that's when things got cozy.
So they basically paid your wife to go away, essentially. And she was, sequestered?
Yeah, my wife was in the hotel. She'd go to the studio. It was right across the street from the hotel. She'd go to the studio here and there. But it was like R. Kelly didn't want her there. Because he was telling, my wife was telling me one time that he would tell her, "Sing like you're making love." Well, at the time, Leah had never made love. And she asked my wife, "What is he trying to say?" Right.
This is all allegedly, but I wanted to share this with you. Thank you again to Gully TV for allowing me to do this reaction video. I just wanted to share with my subscribers because I feel like a lot of my subscribers might also be fans of Aaliyah. I just wanted to share with you, for those of you who always wonder in the back of your mind, how did things happen with Aaliyah? How did she get caught up with R. Kelly? Now, her parents didn't just send her out with R. Kelly to record an album. They sent her with a chaperone. The chaperone tried. The chaperone did her best. But R. Kelly basically said the chaperone was killing his creativity, and he was approved for 30 days alone with Aaliyah, allegedly by her parents. And a lot of times, if you look at R. Kelly's arguments in his legal case, he keeps saying that the parents approved. And in some cases, I don't think he's lying. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about everything you just heard. Leave a comment. As always, thanks for watching.
Layla,